Our world is a living tapestry, woven from countless delicate threads of life, each one pulsing with energy and purpose. From the highest mountain peaks to the deepest ocean trenches, every corner of the planet is alive with movement, sound, and the silent communication of nature. Each thread represents a unique ecosystem, a realm where plants and animals have forged extraordinary relationships. In the rainforest, sunlight filters through dense canopies, dappling the forest floor where insects scurry and birds flit between branches. Coral reefs shimmer with vibrant colors as fish dart in and out of intricate coral structures, while on the savanna, herds of antelope graze in harmony, ever watchful for the slightest sign of danger. These places are the planet's wild heartbeats, each pulsing with its own rhythm. At dawn, the chorus of birds signals the start of a new day, while herds move as one, guided by ancient instincts. Predators stalk the shadows, their movements silent and calculated, while prey animals rely on keen senses and tight social bonds to survive. From the shimmering wetlands of Florida, where alligators glide through still waters and wading birds hunt among reeds, to the vast sun-drenched plains of Africa, where lions prowl and elephants roam. These environments are not just collections of creatures and landscapes. They are dynamic theatres of life, shaped by the ebb and flow of water, the cycle of seasons, and the constant interplay between predator and prey. Every element is interconnected. Dew clings to a spider's web, capturing the morning's first light and the day's first meal. Beneath the surface, tree roots form vast networks, sharing nutrients and information, supporting entire communities of fungi, insects, and small mammals. Forests breathe, exhaling oxygen and drawing in carbon dioxide, while streams carve their way through the land, nourishing everything in their path. Mist rises in the early morning, carrying the scent of damp earth and the promise of new growth. These wild places are living laboratories of evolution. A chameleon's tongue snaps out with lightning speed to capture an unsuspecting insect, while a bird weaves a nest with meticulous care, selecting the perfect materials to protect its future offspring. Over millions of years, life has adapted in ingenious ways. Lizards blend seamlessly into their surroundings, cheetahs accelerate with explosive power to chase down prey, and desert foxes use oversized ears to dissipate heat and detect the faintest sounds beneath the sand. Plants, too, have evolved remarkable strategies. Carnivorous plants lure and trap insects, supplementing their diet in nutrient-poor soils. Elephants use their trunks with astonishing dexterity, drawing water from hidden springs and shaping the landscape as they move. To understand these ecosystems is to glimpse the very essence of life on Earth. Every inch of wilderness, from the tallest tree to the tiniest insect, plays a role in maintaining the balance of nature. Here, ancient rules govern existence. Lions stalk through tall grass, their eyes fixed on a distant herd. Wildebeest brave swollen rivers, driven by the promise of fresh grazing and the instinct to survive. Each ecosystem is a masterpiece of nature. The baobab tree stands as a silent witness to centuries of change, its roots anchoring the soil and its branches sheltering countless creatures. Coral reefs, intricate and fragile, provide refuge for a dazzling array of marine life. Yet these vital systems are vulnerable. When a river dries, the tracks of animals tell a story of struggle and adaptation. When forests fall, the intricate web of life is torn, and countless species must find new ways to survive. The pace of change is relentless. Drought cracks the earth, forcing animals to travel farther for water. As wild lands shrink, the boundaries between habitats blur, and the delicate balance that has sustained life for millennia is tested. The melting of ice floes leaves polar bears stranded, while other creatures stand at the edge of barren landscapes, searching for food and shelter. The struggle for survival becomes ever more intense, and the fate of entire species hangs in the balance. Rising tides swallow marshlands, and sand dunes advance, reclaiming grasslands. Each shift in the environment sends ripples through the ecosystem, altering the lives of every creature within. The stories of these places are not just tales of natural wonder, but also of resilience and adaptation. Even as challenges mount, life finds a way to persist, to adapt, and to flourish in the face of adversity. In this exploration, we journey to four of our planet's most iconic and vital ecosystems, each a world unto itself, shaped by unique forces and home to extraordinary creatures. In the Everglades, silent hunters glide through dark waters, their eyes just above the surface, while egrets stalk the shallows, poised to strike at the slightest ripple. On the African Savannah, the thunder of hooves marks the great migrations, as wildebeest and zebra traverse vast distances, following the rains and the promise of new life. The Nile River winds its way through arid lands, its waters sustaining a ribbon of green where countless species gather to drink, feed and breed, their lives intertwined with the river's eternal flow. In the Sahara, life endures against all odds. Sandstorms sweep across endless dunes, while the fennec fox emerges under the cover of night, its large ears attuned to the faintest sounds of prey beneath the sand. Meerkats stand sentinel, scanning the horizon for danger, while hardy plants anchor themselves in rocky soil, drawing moisture from the faintest trace of dew. In every ecosystem, the dance of life continues. Tracks in the mud tell stories of passage and pursuit. Young animals learn the skills they need to survive, and seeds ride the wind, seeking new ground to take root. The wild heartbeats of our planet echo in every corner of the natural world, a testament to the enduring power and beauty of life itself. At the southernmost edge of the North American continent, a vast expanse unfurls, a world of water, grass, and sky, where the boundaries between land and liquid are blurred by the slow, ceaseless movement of life. This is not a lake, nor a river in the conventional sense. Instead, it is a living, breathing tapestry of water, a shallow, slow-moving sheet that glides southward, weaving through a labyrinth of sawgrass and marsh. Known as the Everglades, this river of grass is a marvel of hydrology and ecology, its waters fanning out across the landscape in a gentle, persistent flow that shapes every living thing within its reach. The Everglades is a mosaic of habitats. Towering cypress domes rise from the water, their roots entwined in the dark, oxygen-poor muck, while mangrove forests form tangled fortresses along the coast, their arching roots filtering brackish tides. Here, the gradual mingling of freshwater and saltwater creates a dynamic estuarine environment where gradients of salinity foster a remarkable diversity of life, each species adapted to the subtle shifts in chemistry and flow. Beneath the mist, a hidden world thrives. The tall grasses conceal secretive marsh rabbits, cryptic snakes, and the silent stalk of the bobcat. Amphibians perfectly camouflaged chorus in the twilight, while insects form the foundation of a complex food web. For millennia, the Everglades has been governed by the pulse of the seasons. During the wet months, water spills across the prairies, flooding the landscape and triggering explosions of life. Fish spawn in the shallows, wading birds gather in vast flocks, and alligators carve out deep pools that become refuges for countless creatures. The sawgrass prairies, nourished by this seasonal inundation, become a sanctuary for a dazzling array of life. Roseate spoonbills sweep their bills through the shallows, great egrets stand motionless in search of prey, and alligators, apex predators of the marsh, maintain the balance of the ecosystem. As the dry season returns, water retreats, concentrating fish and invertebrates in shrinking pools. Predators gather, and the struggle for survival intensifies. This annual rhythm is the heartbeat of the Everglades, dictating migrations, breeding cycles, and the very structure of the food web. Spanning thousands of square miles, the Everglades is one of the largest and most intricate wetlands on Earth, a wilderness of water and light, where every drop is vital and every organism is linked in a delicate balance. Yet, this balance is under siege. The natural flow of water, once the lifeblood of the ecosystem, is now disrupted. The intricate network of sloughs, prairies, and tree islands is fragmented, and the hydrological pulse that sustained them is weakened. Barriers and channels now crisscross the landscape, altering the ancient pathways of water. The once unbroken sheet flow is interrupted, leaving some areas flooded and others starved of moisture. These obstructions act as tourniquets, constricting the life-giving flow and isolating habitats. The natural connectivity that allowed species to move, feed, and breed is diminished, and the resilience of the ecosystem is tested. The reduction in fresh water flow is profound. Vast stretches of marsh are left dry, their soils cracking under the sun. Sawgrass withers, and aquatic life is stranded, unable to complete its life cycle. The Everglades has shrunk to a fraction of its former glory. Where water once reigned, only half the original wetlands remain, a stark testament to the vulnerability of even the most robust natural systems. Water scarcity is not the only threat. The water that does reach the marshes is often tainted, carrying with it a burden of nutrients and toxins that the ecosystem cannot absorb. Polluted water clouds the marsh, reducing sunlight and altering the delicate chemical balance that sustains aquatic plants and animals. Excess nutrients, especially phosphorus and nitrogen, fuel the growth of invasive algae and plants, outcompeting native species and disrupting the natural order. Algal blooms erupt, smothering the waterways and depleting oxygen. Fish and invertebrates perish in these hypoxic zones, and the intricate food web begins to unravel. The effects ripple outward. Wading birds find fewer fish to eat, alligators lose their prey, and the entire ecosystem teeters on the brink of collapse. Each loss reverberates through the web of life, weakening the bonds that hold the Everglades together. The river of grass now faces a relentless struggle against thirst, against poison, and against the slow unraveling of the intricate tapestry of life that has flourished here for millennia. Life in the Everglades is a relentless contest of adaptation and survival, where every creature must constantly adjust to the ever-changing rhythms of water, weather, and competition. As the sun rises over the sawgrass prairies, white-tailed deer pick their way through flooded trails, their hooves splaying wide to keep from sinking into the soft, waterlogged earth. Nearby, alligators glide silently beneath the surface, their eyes and nostrils just above the waterline, waiting for the perfect moment to ambush unwary prey. The Everglades is a patchwork of habitats, open sloughs, dense cypress domes, and tangled mangrove forests, each demanding unique survival strategies. Wading birds like the great egret and roseated spoonbill stalk the shallows, using their long legs and specialized bills to probe for fish and crustaceans hidden in the mud. But the balance is delicate. The arrival of the Burmese python has introduced a new and formidable predator. These massive constrictors, with their cryptic coloration and patient hunting style, lie in wait among the reeds, striking with lightning speed at mammals and birds alike. Native marsh rabbits, once abundant, have learned to avoid the thickest undergrowth where pythons lurk, venturing out only in the safety of dusk and dawn. Raccoons and opossums, ever resourceful, now climb higher and forage farther from the water's edge, seeking refuge from this silent hunter. The python's appetite has sent ripples through the food web. With fewer small mammals, bobcats and red-shouldered hawks must range wider, adapting their diets and hunting patterns to survive. In the shadowy forests, the struggle is constant. Every animal, from the smallest tree frog to the largest wading bird, must remain vigilant, sensing danger in every rustle of grass or ripple of water. The environment itself is a formidable adversary. As temperatures rise and rainfall patterns shift, the timing of seasonal floods becomes unpredictable. Apple snails, a keystone species, lay their eggs just above the waterline, gambling on the rains to keep their young safe from both drought and drowning. In the coastal marshes, the encroachment of salt water transforms the landscape. Freshwater fish like the largemouth bass retreat upstream, while adaptable species such as the mangrove rivulus, a tiny fish that can breathe air and survive in both salt and fresh water, exploit new niches. The rising tides force river otters and turtles to seek higher ground, while amphibians like the pig frog must find pools that remain fresh even as the saltwater creeps inland. Plants, too, are locked in a battle for survival. Sawgrass and pond apple trees, intolerant of salt, wither and die, making way for salt-tolerant mangroves whose tangled roots offer shelter to juvenile fish and crustaceans. Within the mangrove forests, snappers and tarpon dart among the roots, evading predators and feeding on the bounty of the flooded forest floor. Here, the line between land and water blurs, and survival depends on the ability to move seamlessly between both worlds. Storms are a constant threat. When thunderheads gather and winds howl, herons and ibises hunker down in sheltered thickets, while alligators burrow into the mud, riding out the tempest in ancient, instinctive fashion. After the storm, the landscape is transformed. Fallen trees create new pools and sunlit clearings, offering opportunities for some and obstacles for others. Fish stranded in isolated puddles become easy prey for opportunistic birds and raccoons. The aftermath of hurricanes tests the resilience of every species. Some, like the anhinga, quickly recolonize newly flooded areas, while others, such as the snail kite, must search far and wide for the apple snails they depend on. As the climate grows ever more unpredictable, the struggle intensifies. Each animal, plant and insect must adapt or perish, their fates intertwined in a web of competition, cooperation and constant change. The Everglades is a living tapestry, woven from countless stories of survival, of predators and prey, of flood and drought, of adaptation and resilience. Here every day is a new chapter in the ancient saga of life in the shifting waters. Stretching across vast portions of Africa is an ecosystem that has captivated the human imagination for millennia, the savanna. This is a world of endless grass plains, dotted with acacia trees and sculpted by the dramatic cycle of seasons. During the wet season, the landscape is transformed into a lush, green paradise buzzing with new life. But when the rains cease, the sun beats down relentlessly, turning the grasses to gold and forcing life to endure a long, hard test of survival. It is in this great arena that some of the planet's most iconic wildlife dramas unfold daily, a timeless spectacle of life and death. The savanna is a landscape shaped by two powerful forces, fire and grazing. Natural fires, often sparked by lightning, sweep across the plains, clearing away old, dead grass and promoting fresh, nutritious growth. This constant renewal is vital for the ecosystem's health. The second force is the great herds of herbivores. Millions of wildebeest, zebras and gazelles roam these lands, their grazing mowing the grasses and fertilizing the soil with their waste. Their movements are not random. They are following the promise of rain and fresh pasture, a relentless quest for sustenance that defines the rhythm of the savanna. At the heart of this ecosystem is one of the greatest natural wonders on Earth, the Great Migration. This is an epic circular journey of nearly 2,000 miles undertaken by almost 2 million animals. Wildebeest, zebras and gazelles march in colossal columns, driven by an ancient instinct to follow the rains. This incredible movement is the beating heart of the savanna. It replenishes the land, disperses seeds, and provides a moving feast for the predators that lie in wait. The journey is fraught with peril, most famously at the crossing of the Mara River, where giant Nile crocodiles await their annual bounty. The plants of the savanna are masters of survival, perfectly adapted to this world of fire and drought. The iconic acacia tree has long thorns to deter hungry giraffes and can secrete tannins into its leaves to make them unpalatable. Some species even release a chemical signal that warns nearby acacias of a browsing threat. The baobab tree, with its massive trunk, can store thousands of gallons of water to survive the long dry season. Grasses have deep root systems to find moisture and can regrow quickly after being grazed or burned. Every plant here has a strategy, a testament to life's ability to flourish in a challenging land. Predators like lions are the apex hunters of the savannah, relying on stealth and teamwork to bring down their prey. Cheetahs, the fastest land animals, use their incredible speed to chase down gazelles in breathtaking pursuits. Hyenas, often seen as scavengers, are also skilled hunters and play a crucial role in the ecosystem by cleaning up carcasses. Vultures, the cleanup crew of the savannah, ensure that no part of a carcass goes to waste, maintaining the balance of nature. Elephants, the gentle giants, shape the landscape by uprooting trees and creating waterholes, which benefit other species. Giraffes, with their long necks, feed on the treetops, pruning the trees and allowing sunlight to reach the ground. Even the smallest creatures, like termites, play a vital role by aerating the soil and breaking down plant material. The savannah is a complex web of life where every species, from the tiniest insect to the largest mammal, has a role to play. As the sun sets over the savannah, the great arena of life continues its timeless dance, a testament to the resilience and beauty of nature. Across the endless golden plains, the savannah pulses with life, a living tapestry woven from countless stories of survival, rivalry, and adaptation. Herds of wildebeest and zebras graze in the shimmering heat, their movements watched by sharp eyes hidden in the tall grass. Every day, the balance of life and death plays out in a drama that never truly ends. The lion, regal and powerful, stands as a symbol of strength and unity. Unlike any other big cat, lions form close-knit prides, their social bonds forged through grooming, play, and shared responsibility for the young. Within the pride, it is the lionesses who shoulder the burden of the hunt. Moving with silent precision, they fan out through the grass, communicating with subtle glances and flicks of their tails. Each lioness knows her role, whether to drive the herd or to lie in wait for the perfect moment to strike. The pride forms a crescent, encircling a herd of wildebeest. With a sudden rush, the lionesses surge forward, their coordinated attack sending the herd into chaos. In the confusion, a young or injured animal is separated, its fate sealed by the relentless teamwork of the pride. Yet even for these apex predators, success is never guaranteed. A misjudged leap, a sudden turn by the prey, and the hunt ends in exhaustion. The panting lioness, sides heaving, is a reminder that hunger is a constant companion, and every meal must be earned. In the dappled shade, a solitary leopard glides through the undergrowth. Unlike the lion, the leopard is a master of solitude, relying on stealth and patience rather than numbers. Its every step is calculated, its body pressed low to the earth, invisible to all but the most attentive eyes. The leopard's coat, a mosaic of rosettes, melts into the shifting shadows. It crouches, muscles tensed, as antelope graze nearby, unaware of the danger lurking just meters away. For hours the leopard may wait, motionless as the sun arcs overhead. Then, in a heartbeat, it explodes from cover, a blur of speed and power. The ambush is swift and silent, the outcome determined in seconds. With astonishing strength, the leopard hoists its prize, sometimes an animal 3 times its own weight, into the safety of the trees. Here, high above the ground, it dines in peace, safe from the ever-watchful eyes of rivals below. Below, hyenas and lions circle, hoping for a scrap to fall. But the leopard's strategy ensures its hard-won meal is not stolen, a testament to its adaptability in a world where every advantage counts. On the open plains, the cheetah stands apart, a specialist in speed and agility. Its slender frame and long limbs are built for one thing, the chase. With a flick of its tail, the cheetah launches into pursuit. In mere seconds, it accelerates to breathtaking speeds, closing the gap on a fleeing gazelle with each stride. The The chase is a blur of motion, muscles rippling beneath spotted fur. But this incredible burst of speed comes at a cost. The cheetah's sprint lasts only moments before exhaustion sets in, its body overheating from the effort. After a successful hunt, the cheetah collapses beside its kill, sides heaving, tongue lolling. In these vulnerable moments, the drama intensifies as other predators draw near, sensing opportunity. Lions and hyenas, ever alert to weakness, move in. The cheetah, outnumbered and spent, is forced to abandon its meal, the spoils of its effort claimed by stronger or more numerous rivals. To survive, the cheetah must eat quickly, always glancing over its shoulder, every sense attuned to the approach of danger. Its life is a constant race, not just for food, but for survival itself. The spotted hyena, often dismissed as a scavenger, is in truth a cunning and formidable hunter. Its keen senses and powerful jaws make it a force to be reckoned with, both as a predator and as a competitor. In the cool of dawn or the cover of darkness, hyenas hunt in packs, bringing down wildebeest, antelope, and even young buffalo. Their success rate rivals that of the big cats, and most of their meals are earned through their own skill and persistence. Hyenas live in complex clans, each ruled by a dominant female. Social bonds are reinforced through grooming, play, and vocalizations, creating a tightly knit community where cooperation is key. Their stamina is legendary. Hyenas can pursue prey for miles, wearing down their quarry with relentless endurance. When the moment comes, their powerful jaws can crush bone, allowing them to consume every part of their kill. Within the clan, communication is vital. A chorus of whoops, giggles, and even sneezes signals everything from excitement to consensus. When a hunt is proposed, a series of sneezes can serve as a vote, determining whether the group will set out together. In this ever-shifting landscape, every animal, predator and prey alike, plays a role in the intricate web of life. The savannah's drama is unending, its stories written in the dust and grass, shaped by the daily struggle for survival and the delicate balance of nature. Flowing northward for over 4,000 miles, the Nile River carves a sinuous path through the parched heart of northeastern Africa. It is not merely a river, but a living artery, an ancient force that has shaped the destiny of countless species for millions of years. In a land where rain is rare and the sun is relentless, the Nile is the difference between desolation and abundance, its waters breathing life into the desert and sustaining a vibrant tapestry of existence. The river's journey begins at the confluence of two mighty tributaries. The White Nile, rising from the deep ancient lakes of Central Africa, delivers a steady, year-round flow, its waters filtered through dense swamps and papyrus marshes. The Blue Nile, born in the Ethiopian highlands, surges with monsoon rains each summer, unleashing a torrent of nutrient-rich silt that has, for eons, transformed the river's banks into a fertile oasis. Each year, the river's pulse quickens with the flood, spreading a blanket of dark, mineral-rich silt across the floodplain. This ancient rhythm, unchanged for millennia, creates a narrow ribbon of green that slices through the desert, a sanctuary where life flourishes against all odds. Here, plants root deep in the moist earth, and the air hums with the activity of creatures drawn to the promise of water and food. Along these verdant banks, a complex web of life has evolved, each species uniquely adapted to the river's cycles. The Nile is a world unto itself, where ancient giants and nimble specialists coexist, each playing a role in the delicate balance of the ecosystem. The Nile crocodile, a living relic from the age of dinosaurs, is the river's most formidable predator. For over 200 million years, its ancestors have haunted these waters, their bodies honed by evolution into perfect ambush hunters. With armored scales, powerful tails, and jaws lined with conical teeth, the crocodile is a master of patience and explosive power. Reaching lengths of up to 15 feet and weighing nearly half a ton, the Nile crocodile is an apex predator. Its bite force, exceeding 4,500 pounds per square inch, is among the most powerful in the animal kingdom. Lurking just beneath the surface, it waits motionless for hours, then strikes with lightning speed, seizing fish, birds, and even large mammals that venture too close to the water's edge. Sharing the river's domain is another heavyweight, the hippopotamus. Though a strict herbivore, the hippo is a creature of paradox, gentle grazer by night, fierce guardian of its watery realm by day. Hippos spend most of their daylight hours submerged, their massive bodies shielded from the sun by the cool embrace of the river. Their skin secretes a natural sunscreen, and their nostrils, eyes, and ears are positioned high on their heads, allowing them to breathe and observe, while almost entirely hidden. Despite their placid appearance, hippos are fiercely territorial, defending their stretches of river with astonishing aggression. Their immense jaws and sharp tusks make them one of Africa's most dangerous animals, shaping the behavior of every creature that shares their habitat. Above the water, the African fish eagle reigns supreme. With its striking white head and chestnut body, it is a symbol of the river's wild spirit, its haunting cry echoing for miles along the banks. The fish eagle's keen eyesight allows it to spot the faintest ripple from high above. Its call, a piercing whistle, is both a territorial warning and a declaration of mastery over the skies. When prey is sighted, the eagle launches into a dramatic dive, wings tucked, talons extended. In a flash it snatches a fish from the water's surface, its grip unbreakable. This hunting prowess has made the fish eagle a keystone species, helping to regulate fish populations and maintain the river's ecological balance. The presence of the fish eagle is a testament to the river's health. Its nests, built high in riverside trees, overlook a landscape teeming with life, from darting fish to basking reptiles and chattering monkeys in the canopy. The river's banks are also a gathering place for the African bush elephant, the largest land animal on Earth. These gentle giants travel great distances to reach the Nile, where they drink, bathe, and cool themselves in the shallows. Their trunks, marvels of evolutionary engineering, are used to communicate with low-frequency rumbles that travel for miles through the ground and water, connecting herds across vast distances. Over millions of years, the Nile's ecosystem has been shaped by the relentless forces of evolution. Species have adapted to its seasonal rhythms, its floods and droughts, its shifting channels and fertile banks. The river is a living archive of evolutionary history, its waters carrying the genetic legacy of countless generations. Yet, even as the river endures, its ancient balance is threatened by new challenges. The construction of massive dams, such as the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, interrupts the natural flow and sediment transport that have sustained life for millennia, altering habitats and the delicate interplay between species. Pollution and invasive species further strain the ecosystem. Runoff from distant fields and cities clouds the water, while the water hyacinth, an alien invader, forms dense mats that choke the river's flow, suffocating fish and blocking sunlight from aquatic plants. In the face of these pressures, the river's wild inhabitants persist, their survival a testament to the resilience of life. Conservation efforts focus on restoring balance, removing invasive plants, monitoring wildlife, and protecting the habitats that remain. The Nile's wetlands, such as those around Lake Nasser, serve as vital refuges for migratory birds, offering sanctuary during their epic journeys across continents. Here, the ancient river continues to nurture life, its waters sustaining a living legacy that stretches back to the dawn of time. The Sahara, its very name evokes visions of an endless, undulating sea of golden sand, a world where the sun reigns supreme and silence stretches to the horizon. This is a place where the environment itself is a relentless test, pushing every living thing to the edge of endurance. The Sahara is the largest hot desert on Earth, a realm of extremes where daytime temperatures routinely soar above 113 degrees Fahrenheit, and the parched ground receives less than 4 inches of rain each year. The air shimmers with heat and the land is so dry that even the hardiest plants struggle to survive. At first glance, this vast wilderness appears utterly inhospitable, a place where life seems impossible. Yet, beneath the surface and in the rare patches of shade, a hidden world of tenacious survivors endures. Here, only the most resilient flora and fauna persist, organisms that have evolved remarkable strategies to overcome the twin challenges of searing heat and relentless thirst. Every leaf, every scale, every movement is a testament to adaptation. Scattered across this immense desert are oases, verdant islands of life where water seeps to the surface, nurturing a burst of greenery and providing sanctuary for countless species. In the heart of the Unending Plateau, deep canyons carve through ancient rock, sheltering gueltas, rare permanent pools of fresh water that defy the desert's aridity. These gueltas are biological hotspots, drawing in a remarkable diversity of life. Birds, mammals, and reptiles converge here, their survival dependent on these precious life-giving waters. Among these, the Guelta d'Archi stands out, a shimmering pool cradled by dramatic rock formations. Its waters a rare and vital refuge in a land of extremes. Within its depths, a relic population of West African crocodiles endures, their ancestors having survived since a time when the Sahara was lush and green. These ancient reptiles are living fossils perfectly adapted to the harsh cycles of drought and flood. The crocodile's ability to survive in such an unforgiving environment is a marvel of evolution. They can go for months without food, slowing their metabolism and waiting patiently for the rains to return and replenish their shrinking pools. Across the Sahara, every animal is a master of survival. Each species has developed unique adaptations to thrive where others would perish. The Addax antelope, for example, is a true desert specialist. Its pale coat reflects sunlight, and it can survive for months without drinking, extracting all the moisture it needs from the tough desert plants it consumes. The dromedary camel, with its long legs and single hump, is the ultimate icon of desert endurance. It can lose up to a quarter of its body weight in water and still function, its body conserving every precious drop. Even at the microscopic level, the camel is built for survival. Its oval-shaped red blood cells flow smoothly even when dehydrated, allowing the animal to withstand conditions that would be fatal to most others. The Saharan horned viper, a master of stealth, glides across the burning sand using a sidewinding motion. This unique movement minimizes contact with the scorching surface, allowing it to hunt and travel without injury. Among the most enchanting of the desert's inhabitants is the fennec fox, the smallest fox in the world, perfectly suited to life in the sand. Its enormous ears, which can reach up to 6 inches in length, are not just for acute hearing. They are vital tools for survival. These ears act as natural radiators, dispersing excess body heat and helping the fox stay cool even under the relentless desert sun. The fox's pale fur reflects sunlight, while thick fur on its feet protects it from the burning sand. With its sensitive ears, the fennec fox can detect the faintest rustle of insects and rodents moving beneath the sand, allowing it to hunt with precision in the cool of night. In this realm of extremes, every plant and animal is a marvel of adaptation, a living testament to the power of resilience. The Sahara is not empty, it is alive with stories of survival, ingenuity, and the unyielding will to endure. Each year, as the seasons shift and the Earth tilts on its axis, the skies above every continent become highways for millions of winged travelers. From the icy tundras of the far north to the lush rainforests of the equator, birds embark on epic migrations that span the globe, weaving invisible threads between distant habitats and forging connections that sustain the living world. Guided by instinct and the subtle cues of the sun, stars, and magnetic fields, these avian voyagers traverse vast distances. Some follow ancient flyways that stretch from the Arctic Circle, over mountain ranges and deserts, to the temperate wetlands and forests of the southern hemisphere. Their synchronized formations ripple across the sky, a living tapestry that links continents and ecosystems. Along their routes, these birds become ambassadors of life, connecting the frozen marshes of Siberia with the emerald forests of Central Africa, the wind-swept coasts of Europe with the sun-drenched savannas of the south. Wetlands, forests, and coastlines become vital rest stops, each teeming with life and offering sanctuary to the weary travelers. Take the European goldfinch, a jewel of the woodlands. As autumn's chill settles over Britain, these birds gather in flocks, their golden wings flashing as they journey southward, seeking the mild breezes and abundant seeds of Spain's countryside. Their migration is a delicate dance, timed to the ripening of thistles and the fading of summer. The cuckoo's odyssey is even more extraordinary. From the birch forests of Europe and Asia, it sets out alone, crossing the vast Sahara Desert and the endless blue of the Mediterranean Sea. Its journey is fraught with danger, scorching winds, storms, and predators, but the reward is the lush abundance of Africa's tropical woodlands, where it will spend the winter months. These migrations demand astonishing feats of endurance. Birds battle fierce headwinds, navigate by starlight, and fly for days without rest. Some, like the bar-tailed godwit, can travel over 11,000 kilometers in a single non-stop flight, crossing oceans and continents in a test of pure stamina. Survival on these journeys depends on more than just strength. Birds have evolved remarkable adaptations to exploit the bounty of each habitat they encounter. Some probe the mud for hidden insects, others crack seeds with powerful beaks, and many snatch insects from the air in dazzling aerial displays. The osprey, a master of rivers and lakes, soars high above the water, its keen eyes searching for the glint of fish below. With a sudden plunge, it crashes through the surface, emerging moments later with a wriggling prize clutched in its talons, a testament to precision and skill honed over millennia. In the shimmering lagoons of Africa and South America, flamingos gather in their thousands. Their brilliant pink feathers are a living record of their diet, algae and tiny shrimp rich in pigments. With their unique filter-like beaks, they sift the water, transforming the landscape into a sea of color and life. The great egret, a ghostly figure in the wetlands, moves with deliberate grace. It stalks the shallows, every step calculated, every movement silent. When the moment is right, it strikes with lightning speed, capturing fish and frogs in a flash of white. Across the world, each bird species is equipped with a beak shaped by its environment, a tool perfectly suited to its chosen food. Some are slender and sharp for probing, others thick and strong for cracking, and some, like the flamingos, are marvels of filtration. Adaptation is the key to survival. Birds display an astonishing range of behaviors, from learning new songs to mimic their surroundings, to changing their feeding habits as climates shift and habitats transform. Some species have evolved elaborate courtship rituals, dances, songs, and displays of color that dazzle and enchant. Others build intricate nests, weaving together twigs, leaves, and even spider silk to create safe havens for their young. The African jacana, with its impossibly long toes, glides across floating lily pads as if walking on water. This adaptation allows it to access food and nesting sites that are out of reach for most other creatures, turning the watery world of the wetlands into its own private domain. The cuckoo, meanwhile, has perfected the art of deception. It lays its eggs in the nests of other birds, leaving the unwitting hosts to raise its young. This cunning strategy frees the cuckoo to continue its long migrations, unburdened by the demands of parenthood. With no chicks to tend, the adult cuckoo is free to focus on survival, resting, feeding, and preparing for the next leg of its journey across continents and seas. For many birds, survival is a collective effort. Flocks offer safety in numbers, with individuals taking turns to watch for danger, groom one another, and share information about food and shelter. In the shallows, pelicans work together, forming a living barrier to herd fish into tight groups. With perfect coordination, they scoop up their prey, each bird playing its part in the communal hunt. Flamingos, too, are creatures of community. In the world's great lagoons, they gather in colonies that can number in the tens of thousands, their synchronized movements creating a spectacle of unity and grace. Within these colonies, flamingo chicks are raised in communal creches. Here, a handful of vigilant adults guard hundreds of downy young, ensuring their safety from predators and the elements, a living fortress of feathers and vigilance. Even in the quiet woodlands of North America, the northern cardinal demonstrates the power of partnership. The male, resplendent in crimson, brings food to his mate as she incubates their eggs, a gesture of care and devotion that strengthens the bond between them. Across the globe, from the highest mountains to the deepest wetlands, birds are the living threads that tie together the planet's wild places. Their journeys, their adaptations, and their social bonds reveal a world of astonishing complexity and beauty, a world where every habitat, every migration route, and every species is part of a vast, interconnected tapestry of life. The wild places of our planet, from the sun-scorched Sahara, where endless dunes shift and reshape with every gust of wind, to the waterlogged Everglades, where rivers weave through a tapestry of reeds and cypress, are under immense strain. The challenges they face, a changing climate, with storms that batter coastlines and droughts that parch the earth, habitat loss as forests recede and rivers run dry, pollution that seeps into every corner of the wild, and the relentless spread of invasive species, are complex and formidable. The stories of struggle we have witnessed are a clear warning that the natural balance upon which all life depends is fragile, and yet within these struggles, nature reveals its own remarkable resilience. The fate of the lion on the savannah, whose pride endures through lean seasons and fierce competition. The crocodile in the Nile, whose ancient lineage has survived countless cycles of flood and drought, and the wading bird in the wetlands, whose migrations span continents and whose calls echo across the marsh, are all testaments to the enduring power of life. Their world is a web of connections, where the survival of one species shapes the fate of many others. Yet in the face of these great challenges, nature itself mounts a quiet, persistent defense. After fire sweeps the grasslands, green shoots emerge from the ashes, restoring life to the plains. Rivers carve new channels, reshaping the land, while animals like beavers engineer wetlands that nurture countless forms of life. Flocks of birds disperse seeds far and wide, and the wind carries pollen to distant flowers, ensuring the renewal of forests and meadows. Predators and prey engage in an ancient dance, each adapting, learning, and evolving with every generation. The addax antelope, once nearly lost to the desert winds, now finds ways to survive in the harshest of environments, a living symbol of nature's tenacity. Each new calf born is a testament to the will to endure, to adapt, and to thrive. Along the Nile, migratory birds find sanctuary in the reeds, their journeys guided by instinct and the changing seasons. Safe havens emerge where nature reclaims its space and new generations take flight. These natural efforts show that positive change is possible, even in the absence of human intervention. When predators return to their ancestral lands, balance is restored and prey populations flourish in healthier, more vibrant ecosystems. In the oceans, coral reefs regenerate after storms, and fish populations rebound when given the chance. Forests regrow after landslides, with saplings pushing through the soil, reaching for the sun. Elephants dig for water in dry riverbeds, creating wells that sustain countless other creatures. Packs of wild dogs hunt with precision, while antelope herds remain ever vigilant, their survival strategies honed by generations of challenge. Insects pollinate flowers, fungi break down fallen trees, and every organism plays a role in the grand cycle of renewal. River otters build dens along clean streams, and fish return to spawn in waters that have healed. Mountain goats scale impossible cliffs, and snow leopards move silently through the high peaks, each perfectly adapted to their world. Herds of bison graze across the prairies, shaping the land as they have for millennia. The responsibility to protect these precious ecosystems is carried by nature itself, through the resilience and adaptability of its inhabitants. The choices made by each species, when to migrate, where to nest, how to adapt, ripple across the landscape. Every interaction, from predator and prey to symbiotic partnerships, shapes the future of the wild. As seasons change, animal populations adjust, finding new ways to survive and thrive. The cycles of water, nutrients, and energy connect every living thing, sustaining the wild through times of abundance and scarcity. Young animals learn from their elders, passing on the wisdom of survival, migration, and adaptation. Each new generation brings hope, curiosity, and the promise of renewal. By maintaining their health and habitats, animals contribute to the well-being of their entire ecosystem. When conditions change, herds and flocks move to new grounds, ensuring the survival of their kind. The task is great, but the resilience of life is greater. Nature's ability to recover, adapt, and flourish is a force beyond measure. If the wild is given space and time, its inhabitants will act with wisdom and determination, forging a future from the challenges of today. The wild heartbeats of countless creatures will continue to pulse strongly, echoing through forests, deserts, rivers, and skies, enriching our planet for generations to come, as long as nature's resilience is allowed to shine. As the sun slips below the horizon and the savanna is cloaked in darkness, a new world awakens beneath the stars. The golden plains, so vibrant by day, are transformed into a realm of shadows and whispers, where the night air carries the scents and sounds of life unseen. Here, in the cool embrace of night, the savanna's most elusive inhabitants emerge. The lion, king of the grasslands, becomes a silent hunter. With eyes tailored to the faintest glimmers of moonlight, prides fan out across the plains, their padded paws muffling every step. Communication shifts to low rumbles and fleeting glances, a language of the dark, guiding each member through the hunt. Nearby, spotted hyenas stir from their hidden dens. Their keen hearing and powerful jaws make them formidable nocturnal predators, but also clever scavengers. In the darkness, their laughter echoes, a signal to clan members, a warning to rivals. The balance between competition and cooperation is sharpened by the cloak of night. Beneath the acacia trees, leopards prowl in solitude. Masters of stealth, they move through the undergrowth with barely a rustle, their rosetted coats blending with the dappled shadows. A sudden leap, a swift strike, prey is captured and hoisted into the branches, safe from other predators until dawn. Small creatures, too, claim the night as their own. The aardvark, rarely seen by day, shuffles through the grass, its long snout searching for termites and ants. Its digging claws turn the earth, opening tunnels that will shelter countless other animals. Genets and civets slink through the brush, their luminous eyes scanning for insects and small mammals, each movement calculated and precise. Above, the night sky is alive with movement. Bats swoop and dive, feasting on moths and beetles. Owls glide in silence, their wings engineered to muffle sound, their talons poised for the unsuspecting rodent. The calls of nightjars reverberate over the savanna, marking territory in the velvet dark. Herbivores are ever vigilant. Zebras and wildebeest gather in tighter groups, their senses heightened against the threat of predators. Elephants, guided by memory and the scent of water, travel under the cover of night to distant watering holes, their low rumbles keeping the herd united. In the heart of the savanna, the night is a time of both danger and opportunity. Adaptations are key. Heightened senses, cryptic coloration, and nocturnal habits ensure survival. Every shadow hides a story of hunters and hunted, of silent alliances and constant vigilance. As dawn approaches, the nocturnal world retreats, The first rays of sunlight paint the plains in gold once more, and the creatures of the night slip away, leaving only faint tracks in the dew and whispers on the wind. The cycle continues, each night a testament to the savannah's unending rhythm, where darkness is not an end, but another chapter in the epic of life. Beneath the towering grasses and ancient trees of the savannah lies a world almost too small to see, a world teeming with life, energy, and endless movement. Here, insects reign as the unsung architects of the ecosystem, their numbers vast and their roles indispensable. From the moment the sun warms the earth, countless species stir to life. Termites, the master builders, rise from their labyrinthine mounds. These towering structures, shaped by millions of tiny jaws, regulate temperature and humidity, providing shelter for the colony and refuge for snakes, lizards, and even small mammals. Within these walls, termites break down dead plant matter, recycling nutrients and enriching the soil, ensuring the grasslands remain fertile and vibrant. Across the plains, ants march in disciplined columns. Some cultivate underground fungus gardens, while others herd aphids, harvesting their sweet secretions. Their tunnels aerate the soil, allowing water and roots to penetrate deeper. In their relentless search for food, ants redistribute seeds, sparking new life and shaping the very landscape of the savannah. Among the blossoms, bees and butterflies flit from flower to flower. Their delicate wings carry the promise of new generations as they transfer pollen and enable plants to bear fruit. The vibrant colors and intricate dances of pollinators ensure that acacias, wildflowers, and grasses continue to thrive, providing food and shelter for animals large and small. But not all insects are builders or pollinators. Some are hunters. Dragonflies dart above watering holes, their aerial acrobatics capturing mosquitoes and gnats. Mantises and assassin bugs lie in wait among the leaves, their predatory patience keeping populations in balance. Others are scavengers, nature's tireless cleaners. Dung beetles roll and bury animal droppings, transforming waste into nourishment for the earth. Their efforts prevent disease and return essential nutrients to the soil, supporting the cycle of growth. Insects form the foundation of the savannah food web. They are a vital resource for a multitude of creatures. Meerkats dig for beetle grubs, birds feast on swarming locusts, and aardvarks tunnel after ants and termites. Even the mighty elephants and graceful gazelles depend on healthy insect populations to sustain the plants they eat. Interactions among insects themselves are intricate and dynamic. Some form alliances, mutualistic partnerships that benefit both parties. Others are locked in fierce competition or elaborate mimicry, where survival depends on deception and adaptation. In every corner of the savannah, insects are entwined in a complex tapestry of life. Though small and often overlooked, insects are the pulse of the savannah. Their diversity and tireless work sustain the great herds, the predators, and the very land itself. In the grand story of the wild, they are the invisible architects, reminding us that even the tiniest creatures can shape the fate of an entire world. Across the vast savannah, time is marked not by clocks or calendars, but by the rhythm of the seasons, an eternal dance between abundance and adversity. Each year the land is transformed by the arrival and retreat of the rains, sculpting the lives of every creature that calls these grasslands home. As the wet season approaches, dark clouds gather on the horizon. The first drops fall, awakening the earth. Grasses surge skyward, painting the plains in brilliant green. Rivers swell and pools form, drawing great herds from distant corners. Wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles follow ancient migration routes, guided by the promise of fresh grazing and life-giving water. For predators, this is a time of opportunity. Lions and cheetahs shadow the herds, relying on the cover of tall grasses and the abundance of prey. Birds return in multitudes, filling the air with color and song. Frogs emerge from their burrows, their calls echoing in the night. while fish, dormant in drying mud, burst back to life in the flooded channels. Yet the bounty does not last. As the rains fade and the sun's heat intensifies, the savanna transforms once again. Waterholes shrink, grasses turn brittle, and dust hangs heavy in the air. Now, survival requires ingenuity and resilience. Elephants, with their remarkable memories, lead their families to hidden springs, digging deep into the earth for moisture. Giraffes browse on the hardy acacia trees, extracting sustenance from leaves high above the reach of other grazers. Some antelope species time their births to coincide with the last rains, giving their young the best chance at survival. Reptiles and amphibians retreat underground, entering states of dormancy until the rains return. Birds follow the receding water, some traveling thousands of miles to distant wetlands. Insects, too, adapt, some laying drought-resistant eggs, others seeking refuge in the cool soil. Throughout these cycles, the savanna's web of life endures. Each species, from the smallest beetle to the largest elephant, has evolved strategies to survive the pendulum swing between feast and famine. These adaptations, honed over millennia, ensure that life not only persists, but flourishes with each returning season. In this endless cycle of transformation, the savanna reveals its greatest secret: resilience. Here, life is not a straight line, but a circle, one that turns with the rains and with the unwavering will of its wild inhabitants. Beneath the vast sky, the true architects of the savanna stand quietly, grasses, trees, and shrubs that form the living foundation of this wild kingdom. Though rooted in place, their struggle for survival is no less dramatic than the animals that roam above. Savanna grasses, with deep, reaching roots, anchor the soil and draw water from far below. Their slender blades bend but rarely break, designed to withstand both grazing jaws and the fury of fire. When flames sweep the plains, it is the grasses that rise again, sprouting anew from hidden buds, ensuring the land's swift rebirth. Scattered across the horizon, resilient trees like the acacia and baobab offer more than just shade. The acacia's thorns deter all but the most determined feeders, while its leaves produce chemicals that warn neighboring trees of approaching browsers. The baobab, swollen and ancient, stores precious water in its trunk, becoming a living reservoir during the harshest droughts. Every plant plays a role in the savanna's intricate web. Grasses fuel the migrations, feeding immense herds that in turn fertilize the soil. Trees provide shelter and food for countless creatures. Giraffes delicately pluck acacia leaves, elephants strip bark for moisture, and birds nest safely among sturdy branches. Some plants form alliances with animals. The whistling thorn acacia harbors ants within its hollow spines. In exchange for shelter and nectar, the ants fiercely defend their host from hungry herbivores. Others rely on animals to spread their seeds, hitching rides in fur or passing through digestive tracts to distant, fertile ground. Even during the dry season's harshest days, the savanna's plants endure. Many shed leaves to conserve water, while seeds lie dormant in the dust, awaiting the promise of rain. When the first drops fall, the land bursts into color, revealing a tapestry of wildflowers and fresh shoots, nature's quiet celebration of survival. Without these silent survivors, the savanna would be an empty stage. Their presence shapes every life, their resilience echoing in every heartbeat of the wild. In their steadfastness, the plants of the savanna uphold the balance, sustaining the endless drama of life on these sweeping plains. As dawn breaks over the savanna, the air comes alive with a chorus of calls, a symphony led by the birds that grace these open skies. Above the golden grasses, flocks of quellias wheel and dip in mesmerizing, synchronized patterns, their numbers so vast they briefly darken the morning sun. These tiny seed-eaters, sometimes called feathered locusts, play a crucial role in shaping the cycles of plant life, dispersing seeds and controlling insect populations. Perched atop thorny acacias, lilac-breasted rollers flash their dazzling colors, turning the savanna into a living canvas with every swoop and dive. Their acrobatic flights are more than simple displays. They help mark territories and attract mates, a dance as old as the plains themselves. In the stillness between the trees, the secretary bird strides on long, powerful legs, hunting snakes and rodents with swift, precise kicks. Unlike most raptors, it hunts on foot, turning the grasslands into its personal hunting ground. Overhead, the martial eagle circles on broad wings, its keen eyes searching for unsuspecting prey. With each successful hunt, these apex predators help maintain the delicate balance between predator and prey. But the savanna's skies are not ruled by hunters alone. Weaver birds hang their intricate nests from the branches, weaving grass and leaves into pendulous cradles that sway in the breeze. Their colonies become bustling communities, each nest a testament to patience and cooperation. As the seasons turn, the savanna becomes a crossroads for travelers. Storks, bee-eaters and swallows arrive from distant lands, following invisible highways across continents. These migrations bring new life to the plains, their journeys connecting the savanna to the farthest corners of the globe. At dusk, thick knees and nightjars emerge, their cryptic plumage blending seamlessly with the earth. Their soft calls echo across the cooling grasslands, signaling the changing of the guard as day gives way to night. From the smallest sunbird hovering among wildflowers to the mighty ostrich striding across the horizon, birds are both guardians and storytellers of the savanna. They pollinate flowers, disperse seeds, and keep insect numbers in check. Their songs herald the rains, mark the passing of seasons, and remind all who listen of the wild heart beating within these endless plains. In every wing beat, the story of the savanna continues, written in the sky, sung from the treetops, and carried on the wind. Beneath the sun-baked grasses and sprawling acacias, a secret world stirs, one rarely glimpsed, yet vital to the heartbeat of the savanna. Here, in the shallow ponds and fleeting wetlands, life flourishes in astonishing forms, shaped by the rhythm of the rains and the hush of retreating waters. As storm clouds gather and the first drops fall, dry hollows transform into glittering oases. Frogs, silent for months, erupt in a chorus of croaks and trills, a signal that the season of abundance has begun. Within hours their eggs become wriggling tadpoles, racing against time to grow before the waters vanish once more. Beneath the surface, jewel-like killifish dart among the reeds. These remarkable fish have adapted to the savanna's ephemeral waters, laying eggs that can survive months of drought, waiting patiently for the rains to return. Tiny aquatic insects, water boatmen, diving beetles, and whirligigs skim and swirl, their movements sending ripples across mirror-still pools. Dragonflies emerge, their delicate wings catching the sunlight as they hunt for prey above the water's edge. Each pond becomes a nursery, a battleground, and a banquet table, where countless larvae, nymphs, and small predators compete in a silent struggle for survival. Along the muddy banks, the footprints of antelope and warthogs tell stories of thirsty visitors drawn to these life-giving waters. Yet the true architects of these aquatic realms remain hidden. Snails and crustaceans filter the water, breaking down leaves and debris, while submerged plants oxygenate and anchor the shallows. As the water recedes and the savanna reclaims its dry mantle, many creatures retreat into the mud or transform, awaiting the next season's promise. Others, like the resilient killifish, leave behind the seeds of life, ensuring that the story continues. In these hidden aquatic worlds, the savanna reveals another face, one of resilience, transformation, and quiet miracles. Here the pulse of life is measured not in seasons, but in fleeting moments, each drop of water a lifeline, each pond a world unto itself, Across the sweeping grasslands and shadow thickets, an ancient drama unfolds, one where predators are not just hunters, but guardians of the savanna's delicate balance. From the stealthy lioness crouched low in the grass to the painted wolf weaving through the dusk, these apex predators play a role far greater than the chase. Every hunt is a test of skill, but its outcome shapes the very fabric of life. By preying primarily on the weak, the sick, and the old, predators like lions and cheetahs help maintain the health of vast herds. This natural selection ensures that only the fittest survive to breed, strengthening the genetic resilience of prey species such as wildebeest, zebra, and antelope. But the influence of predators reaches even further. When leopards patrol the riverbanks, their presence keeps grazing herds on the move, preventing overgrazing in any one area. This movement allows grasses and shrubs to recover, preserving the soil and supporting countless other life forms. In the acacia woodlands, the silent stalk of a serval or the sudden strike of a cobra regulates populations of rodents and birds, balancing the web of life from the ground up. Scientific studies reveal a phenomenon known as the trophic cascade, a powerful ripple effect triggered by the presence or absence of top predators. When these hunters thrive, ecosystems flourish, plant diversity increases, water sources remain clearer, and the populations of smaller predators and herbivores find their natural limits. When predators vanish, imbalance follows. Prey populations swell, vegetation is stripped bare, and the entire system teeters on the edge. Even the scavengers, hyenas, jackals, and vultures play a vital role, swiftly recycling nutrients back into the earth and cleansing the savanna of disease. In this great arena, every predator, from the smallest mongoose to the mighty lion, is both participant and protector, a living thread in the tapestry of life. Here, on the sunlit plains and in the cool shade of thorn trees, the savanna's guardians walk a razor's edge. Their presence ensures that the dance of life continues wild and harmonious, a testament to the intricate balance at the heart of nature. Beneath the endless sky, a new force shapes the savanna, a force as old as time, both feared and revered: fire. Born from lightning spark or the friction of dry grasses, wildfire sweeps across the plains in a brilliant, crackling wave. To the untrained eye, it may seem like pure destruction, but here, fire is a sculptor, carving life from the ashes. As flames dance and smoke curls into the twilight, animals sense the change. Grazers, alert and watchful, move to safer ground. Birds take to the air in swirling flocks, their silhouettes flickering against the glow. Burrowers retreat deep underground, while nimble antelopes and fleet-footed zebras skirt the fire's edge, ever adaptive, ever aware. Yet this is not the end, it is a beginning. The fire clears away choking undergrowth and unlocks nutrients long trapped in dead grass. Within days, the first emerald shoots pierce the blackened earth, nourished by mineral-rich ash. Herds return, drawn by the promise of tender new growth. For them, the savanna's renewal is a feast, a testament to nature's resilience. Some plants have evolved to not just survive fire, but to depend on it. The seeds of certain grasses and acacias lie dormant, waiting for the heat to crack their shells and awaken new life. Insects, too, thrive in the aftermath, feeding on charred wood and sprouting blooms. Even predators sense opportunity, tracking prey drawn to the rejuvenated pastures. In this cycle of flame and regrowth, the savanna finds its rhythm. Fire is both disruptor and healer, a vital heartbeat that ensures diversity and balance. Through adaptation and ancient instinct, life persists, undaunted, ever-changing, forever renewed by the flames. Here, in the heart of the wild, fire is not merely a threat, but a promise that from every ending there is a new beginning.